Well, hello and welcome to Go Conscious Earth's first ever global Zoom presentation with Godi Gadar. I'm Barbara Holloway. I just joined Go Conscious Earth as executive director just in time for this crowdfunding for global climate stability in 2022. And I'd like to welcome everyone, especially those on the West Coast. I wish you a good morning. Those on the US East Coast, good afternoon. And we have folks tuning in from Europe. I think Brussels for sure, where our project director is, France, Spain, England, and also Democratic Republic of Congo and possibly Burkina Faso. So welcome everyone. Thanks so much for being here. And I just wanted to let you know that I have been part of Go Conscious Earth for the past 3.5 years. I've been serving on the board and I love the organization because we're just doing such vital work for global climate stability and also helping the people, partnering with the people directly in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And Africa lies close to my heart. I used to live there and I fell in love with the people and with the culture and the spirit of Africa, just so beautiful. Our first presentation today will be the Burkina Faso Proyectiva, and Godi Gadar will be presenting that. He served as a mentor to Solo Badolo, who has come to us through one of our board members, Susan Serbati, from Bennington College, and Godi served as a mentor since he has installed 16 wells that are still fully functional. They did this project last year, as you can see, this time last year. And without further ado, I will let Godi take over.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you everyone for participating today. We'd like to share this project in IKEA. You can see the map there pointed. That's where the currently project is going to happen to drill these wells and then help this community. So Susan and Michael Phillip sponsored me. Solo and I, we went there and to facilitate this and coordinate everything on the ground. Solo is on my right. And the first day I arrived in Burkina Faso, Solo took me to his community in the area. We met his elderly tribes. Uncle, this is the Solo uncle, is a chief in the tribes. So among the elderly people there, as well as a Solo sister and cousins. So as you can see also the more families member of the Solos. And when I went, I was there, and when my arrival, one of the elderly person and they greeting me and in exchange of the guest and the traditions ways over there, when someone come and visit you, you have to give them exchange as a gift. And the particular is it was the white chickens. The white chickens meaning in the culture is opening heart with the love and to welcome to you in their community. So you can see the hut there. There is the livestock. That's where they usually put stock food for the wild animal, or not wild animals, I'm sorry, but the livestock, goats and sheep and the other animals that comes and to feed. So as we go along the way, we saw there's a group of women are actually doing the work, and they collected a bunch of cottons and they're making yarns to fabricate clothing. And then when we got there, and Solo and I, we said the first things we have to meet the community members of key areas. Ironically, it was just a lot of women, and it really makes sense. Everywhere I go in Africa, it's always women who showed up first to listen and to hear what we have to say and to hear them what our requirements, what their needs are. So it was quite an opportunity to meet those women after, and it turns out that they just told us, like, we need the water. Water is so critical here because we cannot grow food. We walk miles and miles away to get the water, and just their energy is just spent to find the water and then to support themselves and bring it to their houses. And then previously, we saw some of these abandoned wares, unfunctioning wares. So one of the drilling company drilled those wells a long time ago, and it no longer is working. So this is the issues all over the Africas when people comes outside and do this work for the community, and then the community, they have no knowledge to maintain or to take care of them, and then they just abandon. So we are planning to repair some of those wells. And Susan and Solo raised these significant funds and for the community, and able to Solo and I, we facilitate and end up got the logging the drilling company in place on the ground, and they have one attempt and two second attempt, a third attempt. They got the water, but they did not really get deep enough, and also because of the issues was the ground was unstable, it couldn't contain the water. Therefore, it was pretty much the end of it. And I said, Solo, I have a good person, a friend of mine in Utah, in the United States, who are geologists who will be able to help us. And Ray was able to put his knowledge and getting all the satellite images and the locations and point out where it can be done. Then he put a 5 of these locations, and the drilling company went back. And the first time they did, and with the community blessings and the modern technology and the science in place, it was just a win-win situations, and boom, they finally got the water. And do you see that picture? This picture particular, the Burkina Faso are in a drought zone, and really the dry season is so critical. There's no way food can be growing, and everything just continue to die because due over the climates, and there's no trees around. But it's impossible for these women to grow food. And the work continued to do successfully, and they found the water, and therefore they completed, built this tower. And this water is just not just for the community drinking or cooking, but it's also going to be long-term sustainability to grow food. And we're going to, Solo is going to try to make sure that they do irrigation systems so they can feed the animals and grow their food. So sure enough, at the end of it, there was so much of happiness, and the people came in the community and just joyful. We have celebrations, and we tried the local brewery of palm wine, and women came in and cooking food for everyone and celebrations. We have a delegation from government officials, and they came in witness, and as were the traditional Minister of Health and agriculture. They all came and celebrate and with us together. And one thing I learned also, Solo was able already doing planting a tree program in the Kia region, so which is really, really great things, and he trying to help his community. And Solo is the director of Burkina Faso project, Godi Godar coordinator. So it was just really beautiful project to connect, to be a part of it.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Godar. And I think that we'll be hearing from Solo a little bit later. But in the meantime, I just wanted to let you know that we are supporting Solo's water organization as an umbrella support. In other words, we're making it possible for you, his donors, to get tax deductible donations. You can just put checks to Go Conscious Earth. You can make online donations to gcearth.networkforgood.com, but you must specify Burkina Faso Well Project so that the money gets to that project. Again, we're separate organizations. And that's the way that we started too. We had an umbrella organization as well, the Tree Foundation. So we're super glad that we can help in this capacity.
Yes.
And now we'd like to speak a bit about Go Conscious Earth. I'll let Godi start.
This is Go Conscious Earth. You can see in a circle in the African map there, that's a Central Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo in the circle. So you see there's a Congo Basin and the two major biggest forests on Earth. And the Congo Basin, and not just only in the Congo, DRC is not only or protecting the Congo Basin. It includes other countries, the Cameroon, we have a Republic, Central African Republic, we have a Gabon and the Congo Republic. So the DRC contains 60% of the Congo Basin rainforest. So we look at it, there's two major forests, the Amazon and we call the two lungs of our Mother Earth, as essential as the Amazon for the climate stabilities. So you see the Amazon basin, then the Congo Basin. You look at the species in this place living there, the leopards, we have various monkeys, hippos, we have great parrots, and we have a forest elephants, and including the bonobo primates. I don't know if anybody know about the bonobo. Bonobo is similar, just like a chimpanzees, but the only creature on Earth which don't fight or do any killing. But you look at the chimpanzees, so violent, it's like a human, but the bonobo primate, it's a most profound intelligence primates only live in the DRC.
And we actually share 98.7% of our DNA with these primates. And also the women rule.
Exactly. The Barbara is like if our world were really women leaders, and we would be in a really better place.
Oh. Well, I'd like to say that the Lake Tomba Mandobe complex is the largest wetland of international importance in the world, as recognized by the Ramsar Convention. And the site covers 25,365 square miles in the region around the Lake Tomba. Of course, our effort is mainly in Lake Tomba to the north, covering about 295 square miles, and it connects to the Congo River through channels. Lake Tomba is really important. It has like 114 species of fish, and its forests and permanent or seasonal lakes and marshlands have huge environmental and economic value. Lake Tomba is also important because the vegetation of the flood basin absorbs water during the rainy season and releases it later, which regulates flooding downstream. And it also helps filter impurities from the water that's used by millions of people. It also provides breeding sites for fisheries. And basically the wetlands and forests really are also serving as a major carbon sink.
Yeah, Central African and the peatland and the complete and the carbon sequestrations. So they discovered in 2016 in the world largest and below the ground, the carbon stock in the DRC and boasts and over half of stores in the 33 billion tons of carbon equivalent to the 20 years of US fossil fuels emissions.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's also called the Cuvette Centrale. It's basically the size of England.
The populations and the poverty in the DRC become the second largest hunger crisis in the world, and 6 in the annual population growth of 196 nations. So I can speak about this a little bit because as you see a lot of conflict in the east of the DRC is continue to fight the war zone there because of all the natural resources. The children are forced to go in mining in the minerals as early age, and the women's are being raped. It's the stories that coming on the East DRC is just devastating. So by getting these precious minerals such as cobalt and coltan, which contain into our electronic device, we benefit from it globally. But people are there. It's just constantly, of course, the government doesn't guarantee anything to this community, but it's really, really hardship. And the deforestation in the Congo Basin and the local people, so I can speak about this a little bit. My own moms, and this is how we were raised, and they would carry a heavy load of woods, and then that's why we cook food and from the woods. And it contributes also a lot of pollutions as well. And a lot of these women, and they have health issues, respiratory issues, and they have knee problems because it's just that they will walk with this heavy load to cook their food from miles away. And as well as the charcoal productions, a lot of these group of in the local area, they cut the forest and just to they make this charcoal and generate and sell them in the capital city so they can have some type of income. But in the long run, it's not sustainable. That's just devastated to our effort. But we will try to come up with some methods to balance it. Hopefully, we will bring a solar or cooking stove methods that can be sustainable ways. And Go Conscious Earth Community Forest Model. The Godigodars, I can speak it to my relationship with my communities. I grew up in Laktumba. They have these visions to live in my country, and they come and they return back home. And then my first time of going back home, I remember the community named me Nehemiah. Nehemiah is the biblical name of the person who left their village and returned to support their communities. So it's a very, very important to know this is their child who are really trying to help them in a way so they can empower themselves and sustain a livelihood. And the community forest program under 2016, the DRC national law, local customary in the land right hours ensures in perpetuity. So these really forests are really a model. So when I'm there, I will usually mobilize in the community to really making sure they understand the importance of what's are behind this forest, because it is really important to them and globally stability for our climate issues and devastate today. So it's a really people have to know what is the valuable people those people have, and they just relied on this forest.
Yeah, I mean, we really view this as a true partnership because globally we rely on the forests of the Congo Basin for climate stability, and the people of the forest need our support. they need their rights protected, and they need to be able to establish sustainable initiatives to end the cycle of poverty. So yeah, that's great, Godi.
Yeah, conversation oriented in community development and protected the Bantu and the Pygmy indigenous people ancestral land right, develop a fair, equitable and a community and governance for all. So technically, they pretty much wanted to establish the simple plan of management and the people to understand how this matter works and making sure that Pedro is the one of our guy on the ground, project manager is there constantly and talk to the people, making sure they understand how to manage a proper way their forest, and so it can benefits to all being there. Why co-conscious earth? And I was born there, and again, related is so strong ties to the community, and this is very unique ways of relationship and respectful in the community and the family. So it's really, really, the partnership is great. It's just this program is not just the other big NGO or comes and talk to the people and they leave, but this is just one of their own son who are really feel strongly loving heart-to-heart project that continue to thrive and the people in the area.
And they also see that we haven't squandered funds on, big offices and things like that, that we have been bootstrapped on the ground, really putting all of our funds straight to the work that needs to be done.
Yeah, the grassroots started with an amazing board director here in the US and the volunteer work. It's hardworking. We were able to facilitate every funding went toward to our first initiatives, the goal that we accomplished in several years. And we end up bought the drilling machine for bringing the water initiatives on the ground. And this model was just a brilliant ways that the village drillers, it's just not just like the big rig who come and drill the wells and then leave, but it was in a way of giving these people opportunity we taught them how to drill, maintain, and the wells, it works out very, very well because they themselves and they're proud to make it easy possible. So we were able to bring this drilling machine, and we help them with bringing the solar systems on the marketplace where everyone will come and share and sell their goods. And we helped out with the cacao. Some of the families there, cacao is a great product which grow under the canopy and protect the forest. It's a really, really great way to continue to empower them in that way.
Mm-hmm. This is our timeline. Basically, in 1987, Gadar was adopted by Habitat for Humanity volunteer Dean DeBoer, who was just really loved by everyone in the community. And this came on the heels of a dream that Godi had when he was a younger child, that he was going to leave the village and take care of the people and the land. And basically around 2012, when his mother was lying on her deathbed, she asked him really to make, a promise to help the land and the people. And he opened the doors of Go Conscious Earth at that time and began all these wonderful initiatives. And again, as we've said, in 2014, we were able to protect about 1 million acres of rainforest that is still intact today. But just a couple years later, community forestry laws were passed by the DRC national government. And then 2 years after that, we were asked by 3 different community areas if we could support these 3 concessions. And so we started our efforts there. And now we have also established south of the lake a Lukongo concession. in 2020.
And the Go Conscious Earth is a conservations and concessions, and currently mostly densely in the populated and contagious and the community in the forestry in the area in the Equatorial Province.
These are
So
the,
you look at on the right, the maps there, that's in the Latumba North part, we have these concessions in the south, and we have the Lokongo area. And that's not only just the GCE itself, there is also a lot of organizations locally, GASH, and they are supported by Reinforce UK's International, WWF, and a lot of NGO have a presence there because they know that this area is so critical to all of us. So because if that carbons are there, people continue to harvest the trees in the forest cone and they release that carbons, release it to atmospheres. Pretty much we are in bad shape globally. So globally, climate is stability depending on health and the forest and thriving in the communities.
thank you so much, Kedar.
Thank you so much for listening to us. And if you can do anything, I would just have to say final things like we have these expressions. We said like one person cannot do all, but it takes a village. All of us, and really, if we join together, join force, we can really make things happen. So please continue to support us. We're grateful for whatever you've done in the past, and this is a part of our program. So continue and support and share if you can, and whatever you can to donate. It's really, we are grateful for that.
So basically, I mean, as you know, this is a crowdfunding event, and we need to raise $100,000 by the end of July in order to continue our amazing programs. We've just been supported for the last 6 months by Cool Earth, an amazing organization that its goal is to combat climate change. And the best way to do that, they know, is by preserving the rainforest. And the only way that can be successful is if you put the people first and you work directly with the people and find out what their needs are and partner together to help them create ways to keep the forest intact, to have all of their basic needs met. So we're extremely grateful to Cool Earth. And at this point, we do need to raise this $100,000 in order to also, bridge towards additional institutional giving. And we are in conversation with several organizations at the moment, and we feel that we're poised for really exponential growth. But we just need a little bridge here. So please, we hope that you'll support us in our efforts. I mean, crowdfunding works in this way. Like if 200 people gave $500, we could meet our goal immediately. Now, I know a lot of people will give a lot more than that, and some people can't give 500. So I encourage you to give whatever you possibly can at this point, and maybe consider doing some little crowdfunding efforts, yourselves, like maybe invite your friends for dinner and tell them you're supporting Go Conscious Earth, and wouldn't they also like to? You can also send emails, maybe the recording of this presentation. You can, maybe share it on your Facebook page or something like that, and link to Go Conscious Earth's website, especially this GC Earth networkingforgood.com is really where it's most helpful for donations to be made. Also, checks work just fine. And even if you have cryptocurrency, maybe you got in at the beginning when it was only 4 cents. And so like selling now is not a big deal. So even though the market's crashed, but we like to think creatively because this is big stakes right now. And we're super grateful for all you've done in the past and for your presence right now as well. So what I'd like to do at this point is I'll stop screen sharing, and I would like to invite some of our board members and our projects director, maybe also Solo Badolo, to come on and to speak a little bit about why Go Conscious Earth, and also about, the Burkina Faso well projects. And I do encourage you all to donate to both organizations. Let's just be as abundant and generous as we possibly can to make this world a better place. Thanks so much. I'm going to stop sharing now, and we'll get on with other presentations. Okay.
Well, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Godi, and Michael, and all that are on this call. Yeah, Michael said that some people call me the silverback because I became a silverback in the Congo Basin. He said that I spent 300 years out in the Congo Basin, and the Baka, the pygmies that I worked with, I was with them for a long time. So my name, Godi told us his name in his village. My name from the Baka was Kombete, which means the old man of the forest, the elder. With the Baka, it's a very flat society. There's no chiefs and all Mugunjis and all that, but there are special categories. There's the Tuma, who's a specialist in hunting, always brings back food for the table. The Ganga, that knows everything, all the medicines and how to heal yourself from the forest. The forest provides for your health. And then there's the Kombete, which are the elders, and elders are respected, but really, I think they called me that because I'm the old man of the forest, the silverback of the forest, the Kombete. But I was a long time in the Congo Basin, in an area slightly north of Godi, in the same neighborhood, and I got to really love the forest and the people of the forest. And what little I learned from following Mekama and Mavanda and my Baka friends in the forest, and learning about the animals and listening and seeing. When you're in the forest, you don't make a lot of noise. You look, you listen, and you smell. Yamakeda. I became a part of Go Conscious Earth. Hearing Godi's story and his strong connection to the community, and truly GCE is a real, we say grassroots so much, but it's a forest roots organization. It's from the forest and from the heart, and that's what really defines GCE. Godi and Petro and are so close to the communities, and they're so much a part of the community that it's not outsiders coming in to teach people how to use their land. It's people from that area that are helping to give their families and friends opportunity, responsibility, and protection by the new legal framework of the community forest law, which as these concessions are created, people gain tenure over the land. So a foreign logging company, mining company won't be able to take it away from it. It's theirs to choose how to use it. But GCE, Petro, and the people on the ground are helping to facilitate a process with the communities to look at what different options they have, how to manage their resources, how to use them, how to make it sustainable. What alternatives to exploitation? What can they do instead of poaching or cutting down trees, or alternatives to fuel wood, etc. But these communities have been protected for as well as they have, because of the isolation that they're fortunate and unfortunate to have. They're out there, and for Petro and the team to be able to get out there and to help them with their simple management plans and to decide how they want to manage their forest, how they want their lives to go in the future, and think it through. Petro have to get there. And that involves going 20, 30, 40 kilometers on a moto in a stream bed.
Gosh.
Yeah. Or walking in. We need to help. Petro and Godi are from the community, but in order to get to those communities to help to facilitate the process, they need the simple logistics of being able to reach the communities and help facilitate that process. So that requires money. GCE works on a shoestring. It's a very efficient organization, but it needs support and funds and moral support as well to be able to get out there and do the work that GCE is so good at. So I thank you all for being on this call and sharing your time and your thoughts with GCE. Yeah, and I hope that you can spare some funds to help Godi, to help Petro, Ines, and the rest of the team to really be effective in the field with the people whose lives depend on that force. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
Richard, for the wisdom words.
Yeah, thank you, Richard, so much.
Ngangan kisi.
Singila mingi.
Sweet. We know that you need to go, Richard, so feel free. I know you're on a schedule right now. Thank you so much for your time. Bye. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, Susan, it's so good to have you here with us as well. We're so grateful for your participation on the board and for connecting us with Solo, and love to hear a few words from you.
Oh, thank you, Barbara. And wonderful to see you, Godi, as well.
Always. I cannot wait to come and visit.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm Susan Scorbati, and my position is the director of the Center for the Advancement of Public Action at Bennington College. And we do many, many different kinds of international, national, and local projects as part of the work at our center. And I just wanted to take a minute or two to talk a little bit about Godi and the work that he's been doing with GCE and Solo as well in the Burkina Faso Kia project. I came to know Godi maybe about a year or so ago and learned about this amazing work that he really had a vision for many years ago. And I wanted to just say that one of the reasons why I feel like it's so important to support this work of his right now, and the board and the whole team at Go Conscious Earth, as well as how generous they've been now to be able to serve as an umbrella for Solo's project in Burkina Faso, is because, in many of the projects that I've done around the world, it's often a group of people who may have really good intentions and are able to raise money and are hoping to help people out. But in fact, the money gets diverted to supporting the organization as opposed to the people on the ground. And it really doesn't come up with the ways that communities can really become more resilient and more regenerative, and particularly in the response to climate change and all the challenges that we're facing right now. Godi and Solo are those kinds of people who not only have the vision for what's, the powerful vision of what's important and what could work, they also have the knowledge and the practical wisdom of their communities, and really understand how to collaborate, how to speak with people out of dignity and respect, and how to really understand what is possible for our future. Mm-hmm. And that is just very unusual. You really don't see that very much. And so that's why I just recently came on the board. but I'm grateful to be able to help support Godi in this work moving forward. And so, I have just recently come to learn that because of this great match with Cool Earth organization, it's very important that $100,000 is raised this summer. And rather than, which, of course, it would be wonderful if one of you out there is someone who can give large gifts of $50,000 or $100,000. Of course, that would be incredible for this organization. But also, I think, we're hoping that maybe there's 200 of you that could each give $500, or 100 of you that could each give $1,000, or 20 or 30 of you that could each give $5,000. And so this really helps in aggregate to be able to support these projects. These are not millions and millions of dollars projects. These amounts of money are going a really long way to preserve, as Godi says, the second lung of the world, the Congo rainforest. So I would just say that from personal experience, I can assure you that your money will be very well spent, will help a lot of people, and also will show other parts of the world, other communities, all continents, all over the world, how to do this kind of work to really support their communities.
Yeah, thank you so much, Susan. You are the sole inspirations to have you on these efforts, and we're really thankful and grateful to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank
So
you.
grateful for you. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. And now I'd like to invite Michael Phillip, also on our board, to say a few words. Michael?
Thanks, Barb. I just wanted to say that, how important Go Conscious Earth and their mission is to me and other people in our network. I met Godi almost 5 years ago at a conference at Colorado College. I was actually speaking with a group of people about Bhutan, and he was talking about his work in Democratic Republic of Congo. We got to know each other. We clearly shared a vision for what was right and what was wrong in the world. And we stayed in touch. And over the last couple of years, I've become more formally involved with the organization. Now for the last 2 years on the board. We've done a lot of work to, strengthen the organization, not only in the US, but in DRC, in the legal framework, where, now we're actually in a position to help someone like Solo when they come to us with a project, outside the scope of our normal work. We are very, very focused on the work with our community forests in DRC. We're a small organization. We can't afford to stretch very far. However, our members, including our board members, advisory council, and friends and donors, have a very strong global network. And through my friend, Susan Scorbati at Bennington College, where I live here in Vermont, she had worked with Solo. She knew of this need. I knew Godi had worked on water projects in DRC, and we put Solo and Godi together and sort of magic happened, right? And Susan was able to leverage that relationship into raising some money, and we completed a successful project. That's the way small grassroots organizations should work together. That's how we can all, do more than it looks like we're capable of as a single small organization. And I really think Go Conscious Earth is part of the future of how, the world's problems are going to get solved. We are working with some large organizations like Cool Earth and UK Rainforests and World Wildlife Fund in DRC, but they view our ability to execute on the ground and the relationships that we've built with the community and the team that we have on the ground in DRC as tremendous resources for them. So I think, all working together, we can really make a difference on the problems that we care about. So please, think about Go Conscious Earth, help us if you can with donations. And we really appreciate, seeing you all today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. Really appreciate your words today.
Thanks, Barb.
There you are.
Ines,
Ines, I see you. Would you like to just say a few words about how you've been working with the team?
Ines, one thing I wanted to tell you, Pedro and Taylor, they really thankful to you. They see the way you working with them, they really appreciate it a lot.
I'm very touched.
Really
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really appreciate the work with Taylor and Petro as well. And maybe I'll let Petro say a few words. But before that, I just wanted to, as well, for people who might not be familiar with the community forest model, I just wanted to stress the fact that the main objective of community forest is to secure lands for local communities, to secure their traditional and customary land that they've been protected for generations and avoid any land grabbing from external interests. And by securing their lands, they will be able to develop sustainable livelihoods and protect and conserve the forests themselves. And this is a very lengthy process that Petro and Taylor are taking in charge on the ground, and they're really doing tremendous work within the communities to raise awareness within the communities, because it's not so simple that communities, the information doesn't reach the communities. If we don't let them know about this innovative community forest model, they wouldn't know they can apply for local community forest concessions. So it's a really it's a very lengthy and very important work that Petro and Taylor are doing on the ground, and they're only 2 people. So it's really a lot. We're talking about 16 villages within four concessions. Et maintenant, Petro, si tu veux dire quelques mots, peut-être, if you want to share a few words. Petro, who's the project manager in Equateur.
Ok, merci à tout le monde. Je suis tellement ravi de vous rencontrer dans cette réunion. Je remercie Godi Goda pour l'initiative et tout le monde qui s'est rejoint à lui pour soutenir les communautés forestières. Et je sais que le travail que nous sommes en train d'abattre ici, c'est en rapport à vos contributions matérielles, financières et morales. Ce que je veux dire, seulement vous encourager pour le souci que vous avez pour toute la population forestière dans le bassin du Congo. Nous sommes prêts maintenant pour la structuration. Et vous savez, la structuration, c'est l'étape plus cruciale pour préparer les communautés locales à l'élaboration de plans simples de gestion qui demandent un peu de moyens par rapport aux enquêtes socio-économiques, la cartographie pour l'affectation des terres, les inventaires multiressources. Nous sommes tellement persuadés par votre appui et tous les efforts que vous êtes en train de mener pour accompagner les communautés locales de Kake, Kokobongindangue, Lobonzoi et le Congo. C'est une population tellement forestière qui se trouve dans la forêt équatoriale, qui regorge beaucoup de ressources. On trouve des bonobos et autres espèces phares, des éléphants. Mais cette communauté se trouve dans la pauvreté la plus noire. Mais nous savons qu'avec vous, surtout sur votre appui, cette communauté aura le développement. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde qui s'intéresse à cette communauté où Godard est né. Et c'est une communauté qui est tellement très accueillante et malgré tout, la richesse qu'elle regorge, leurs forêts et les lacs, mais elle se trouve encore dans la pauvreté la plus noire. Mais nous sommes très ravis de vous rencontrer avec toute la bonne volonté et le multiple effort que vous êtes en train de déployer pour mobiliser un peu d'argent pour aider cette communauté à développer, car elle a déclaré, elle est en train de travailler pour contribuer à la lutte contre le changement climatique, restaurer la biodiversité pendant les sciences et les diagnostics. Et les autorités sont derrière cette communauté-là pour restaurer tout ce qu'ils ont perdu et le pouvoir coutumier et les ressources naturelles afin d'un développement durable. En tout cas, merci Inès pour cette facilitation. Nous avons eu vraiment travaillé avec candor et Claire, et je les remercie, mais la façon dont nous travaillons avec Inès, en tout cas, elle est tellement très permanente et trop préoccupée par nos problèmes. Et vraiment, nous sommes en train de vous remercier et nous apprécions vraiment votre façon de travailler. En tout cas, je salue tout le monde, Gaudi Godard et tout le monde. Je vous dis merci.
Merci, Pedro.
Yeah. Thank you, Pedro. Yeah.
You want me to translate a bit?
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead. Just
please,
briefly.
please.
Briefly.
Yeah. D'abord, merci beaucoup, Petro, pour tes mots. Ça me touche beaucoup et j'apprécie beaucoup travailler avec vous. Sorry, I just replied a few words to Petro, who was very kind as well to me. So he just wanted to say that he was very happy to be here among us, and he was very thankful for the initiative and for the, as he said, the moral, mental, financial, and material support that we might provide to the benefit of the communities, of course. He also mentioned that very soon they will leave again to the field to help the communities set up the management committees for their forest concessions and lay the ground for the land management plans that need to be developed. But to do that, there is a lot needed, like including socioeconomic data, inventory resources, and participatory mapping tools for zoning to develop these management plans within the concessions. So he's very grateful for all the efforts that might be put into this. And he described the communities that GCE is supporting as very welcoming communities who have a lot of resources and potential, but unfortunately live in a high level of poverty. So yeah, he also said that the communities have declared they really want to fight as well against climate change and restore biodiversity. And he again thanks everyone in the assembly.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Okay, any more questions? All right. Yeah, Soleimani, you have a question?
Oh, no, I don't have a
Waving.
question.
Okay.
No, I don't have a question. I wanted after the questions, I would like to say something. That's why I just.
Good. Please,
Yeah.
please. I think we're finished with questions. So you go ahead.
Okay, so I would like to thank everyone sitting there and all people who did not get to be there, and to thank them because our dream coming true, and I would like to please them one more again, because we need to fix the last wells. And also to thank Go Catchers because they made this possible for me to be in this panel to talk about our CHIA project. I want to thank the organization who hosts this event right now, who is the umbrella for the CHIA project. And I would like to really thank everyone there, and then ask you more your support. We need this water. We need the forest in Congo. That's what I want to say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Salo.
Very
Yeah.
welcome.
All right, guys. I really appreciate everyone pitching up today, and great to see you all and to hear you all. And thank you so much for your support. So I guess Godi, you want to say final word?
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And a tremendous work is done by previous people. The board member of GCE is just a grassroots. You know yourself out there. It's just incredible candor. Board director. It's just we just so grateful. And so. I just, this is a great opportunity model. So a lot of the big NGOs done a lot of work of conservation, but it's just they went in the wrong directions. So GC is one of the model. So opportunity to potential to partner with some other major players. So to show them really what we are doing and implement on the ground to really protect these forest and sustain and improve the livelihood for these people are living there. We're really grateful. We need it. It's our obligations to really protect the most resilient forest on earth. Amazon is a lot of data collected there, but the Congo is still intact. It's really, really vital to all of us. Just join hands together. I think one person cannot do all, but when you combine 1, 2, 3 and the village, it takes a village. That's always it takes. So I think we can really go far. It says that these expressions, if you wanted to run long or short, and then if you wanted to run for long, and you have to run together. So it's just part of it. Like one finger cannot do all, but all of us, many, and we can really do incredible work. Magic happens.
That's
we really appreciate it, all of you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to wrap up today. Yeah, so I think that we'll say goodbye, as hard as that is. It's great to see all of you and to be with you. So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.